Hi guys, welcome to another movie review by me, Beardo. Today I will be reviewing Phantom Thread. Phantom Thread is a story of a designer and dressmaker called Reynolds Woodcock, who seems to be running out of inspiration with his latest muse. He lives with his sister Cyril, who kind of keeps him in line and helps him stick to this strict regime and his patterns of what he needs to do in order to feel creative. But after a chance encounter with a waitress, he becomes inspired again, and she becomes his new muse, and she moves in with him and causes conflict where they both seem to be fighting for control of power over each other. Reynolds is played by Daniel Day-Lewis, who once again does an amazing job in the character. He just seems to transform into these people, and at times it just doesn't feel like you're watching a film. It feels like you're watching someone actually live this life. His new muse, Alma, is played by Vicky Krieps, and although she's pretty much an unknown actress, she's been in a few things before and she does a fantastic job here. She really rises to the challenge of going up against Daniel Day-Lewis, and there's so many scenes of them playing against each other and winding each other up, and it just really works so well. Reynolds' sister Cyril is played by Leslie Manville, and she's not in the film as much as Alma, but she is in the film quite a bit, and she has such an impact on Reynolds' life that Leslie Manville really shows this woman who she's strong, but she has this support for her brother because she knows what an amazing and artistic person he is. But when Alma comes into their lives, it obviously challenges her place in his life, and she kind of has to adapt to that, get used to it, or try and get rid of Alma. This film really becomes like a cat and mouse with mind games, and it's really interesting to see how Alma plays against Reynolds. In a way, it's very sadomasochistic. They seem to get off on pushing each other, and as an audience you really enjoy it as well, and it's a really weird feeling to see someone causing someone else emotional pain. The film was written and directed by Paul Thomas Anderson, who just happens to be one of my favourite directors of all time. He's previously directed films like Magnolia, Boogie Nights, The Master, There Will Be Blood, and this really just goes amongst another of his classics. So every film he does has just got such deep meaning that for me he just can't do no wrong. There's such story in his characters and he just tells them so well. The film is shot with such grit that it actually feels like you're watching a documentary sometimes. It actually feels like it was filmed in the 50s, which is when it was set. There's scenes of people preparing this clothing and sewing and just doing other things that just make you feel like you're actually watching something that actually happened in the 50s, and it just benefits the film even more for it. Every inch of the film just feels so rich. The makeup, the costumes, the design, the settings, it just feels so authentic and organic that you just can't help but be immersed into this period setting. And there's just so many different scenes in the film that stand out as just being breathtaking. There's a scene where Alma is wearing the dresses in this fashion shoot, and she just looks absolutely stunning. And the way it's filmed, the way you see her posing in his clothing is just so grand, and it just feels like so much effort has been put into showing these characters. There's also another really interesting and haunting scene where Reynolds sees the ghost of his mother, but I could have just watched that one scene over for an hour non-stop because it just felt so hauntingly beautiful. The way it was shot, the music, it just felt so surreal in a way that I just couldn't stop watching it, and it just made me want more of it. Things actually get quite dark towards the end, and that's definitely a turn I wasn't expecting, and I think it was something that made the story even better, because when you have such a game of cat and mouse between characters who are playing with each other's psychosis, then you kind of wonder if one is going to win or one's going to break. But throughout until the final moments of the film, they're just pushing each other. As you can tell, I really loved this film. I thought everything about it was fantastic. The acting, the directing, the writing, the costumes, the score, everything was just perfect. And that's why I'm going to score Phantom Thread 5 out of 5. Thanks for sticking around for another one of my movie reviews. Give it a thumbs up, comment or subscribe, and you will see more coming from me soon. Thanks.